Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this video in one go, so if I stumble over my words moving forwards, apologies about that, and also if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well. If there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it is not too much of an issue for you. This is yet another Eurovision 2023 related video here on my channel, and today I am filming another installment in my sporadic series titled What We Know So Far. It's been a little while since I made a video like this, and since then quite a bit has happened in the world of Eurovision 2023, so I'm going to cover as much of it as I possibly can in this video you're watching now. As always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages, check them out if you so wish, and feel free to leave comments regarding anything I discuss in this video. I have information in front of me to make sure I don't forget anything too important, so I'm going to get straight into it. There's not really any point mentioning the stuff that we already know and have known for weeks now. We know it's in Liverpool in the UK on behalf of Ukraine, the current champions. We know it's going to be staged on the 9th, 11th and 13th of May next year. We know it's going to be staged at the M&S Bank Arena, which will be known as the Liverpool Arena next spring for sponsorship reasons. We know that 37 countries are participating. We know that the semi-final allocation draw will be at the end of January, probably somewhere like Liverpool City Hall. That's when we'll find out perhaps the artwork for next year's show as well, because we don't really know anything about that at the moment. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to be purple or blue. They always seem to be the colours of choice. Something different next year would be very, very welcome. We also don't know the presenters. However, it's been rumoured that Timur Miroshnichenko, who was one of the 2017 hosts in Kyiv, and somebody who's been very much involved with Eurovision for Ukraine for a very long time. He's also hosted Junior Eurovision. He's also commentated for years on both the adult and junior shows. He is just the sort of person that I think the BBC will invite to be a part of proceedings. I would be absolutely gobsmacked if he isn't one of the hosts. He's been reported as doing the business next year, along with 2005 co-host Masha Efrosnina, who all I really remember about her is that she shouted her way through most of the 2005 competition, the first time Eurovision was staged on Ukrainian soil. If she's back though, so be it. And there are rumours that there will be 2 other presenters from the UK as well, but we have no idea who. I've not really seen any strong rumours over the past few weeks. I'm sure we'll be getting an announcement, perhaps in the new year. One of the biggest changes before I go through the countries is the voting. I've made a video all about this, you've probably seen it, and I'm sure you've got your own thoughts on the matter. What it says here is that on November the 22nd, the EBU announced major changes to the voting system. The results of the semi-finals from now on will be solely determined by the public. Oh dear me. This was the case between 2004 and 2007. You may recall at the Helsinki semi-final in 2007 there was booing because pretty much every qualifier was from Eastern Europe. No Western European nation made the cut. And because so-called block voting was more apparent than ever before, 2 years later, the EBU changed it and reintroduced national juries for the semi-finals and indeed the final. The juries are staying for the final, which is a great thing, but they are now binned for the 2 semis. I still don't really know how to feel about this. I'm not sure it's going to make a huge amount of difference, but certainly if a particular track, whatever track it ends up being, fails to make the cut, I'm sure we'll all be saying, my God, that wouldn't have happened had the juries been there, had the juries had some sense, that song would have been going through instead of this one, for example. And my concern is that we're going to have genuinely great tracks knocked out early because the public favour something that's maybe a little bit more on the silly side. I don't know. It's a tricky one to discuss. And until it actually happens next year, we're not really going to know whether it's a success or not, or whether it makes any difference whatsoever. Anyway, in the event that a country cannot deliver a televoting result for the semi-finals, a backup jury result would be used, and should the issue persist into the final, the jury points awarded in the final would be doubled, replacing the previous procedure of using an algorithm to calculate and assign points based on countries with similar voting patterns. My apologies. If a country's jury is disqualified, the televoting points from that country would be doubled and used as a substitute in the final. Fair enough. The main reason this change has come into force is because of the anomalies in the Turin second semi-final earlier this year. To me, though, this still feels like a rather drastic move to try and alleviate the problem. Also, a brand new thing, viewers from non-participating countries are now going to be able to vote in all shows, with their votes being aggregated and presented as one individual set of points under rest of the world. So, this is fine, but it means that it's feeling less and less like Eurovision with every passing year, especially with more changes that I'm sure will come into effect before long. Anyway, those viewers would be able to cast votes via an online platform. Certainly I hope it's better than the voting system online for the recent Junior Eurovision, because that website crashed for quite some time. So are the EBU going to ensure that their website for May next year doesn't do the same thing? Also, this online platform will require ownership of a credit or debit card for verification. You know full well, and the EBU must be aware of this too, no matter what you try and do, there will be people trying to skew that system and alter the results in some way, shape or form. Maybe alter's the wrong word, but you know what I mean. People will try and manipulate the result. I wouldn't be surprised, to be completely honest with you, if Spain get 12 points from the rest of the world. Many times. I've just got a sneaky feeling that might be the case. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows how many people will vote in the first place in the rest of the world vote? Who's going to be the spokesperson for the rest of the world? Where are they going to call? These are interesting questions that I'm sure we'll get answers to in due course. Anyway, pre-recorded backing vocals are allowed again, is what I say to that, and so do many other people. Let's go through the countries then. Bear with me. Albania's national selection FIC 61, kicks off next week. 3 semi-finals. Okay, I think one of those evenings is going to be an evening where they perform cover songs. Maybe something like that. Who knows? I don't really follow it, but the final is on December the 22nd. In a change from the usual format, the Albanian public will finally actually get a damn chance to say who represents their country. The winner of the festival is not necessarily the person/act, whatever you want to say, going to Liverpool next May. There is going to be a separate public vote to decide that. The songs will also not be revealed until the live shows. So determining a favourite and working out your own personal favourite might be a little bit tricky, because before you know it, we're going to know who's going to Liverpool next year for Albania. So that's what we know. We've known the artists and the names of the songs for quite some time. It's worth keeping an eye on Rezata Smaya, whose song is called Neden. You've also got Lynx there back, Urban Band are back. You've got Fifi with Stop. That could definitely be a contender on name alone. Elsa Lilla, that's a big name involved as well. Is she the one who's won FIC a couple of times before? Yes, she's won it twice before, the last time in 1997. So, big comeback to the festival for her. Let's move on though. Armenia, we know nothing, probably internal. Australia are going internal next year. Something tells me Dami Eam might be answering several phone calls right about now, or Jaguar Jones. Austria, no doubt internal. Azerbaijan, the same deal. As for Belgium, oh dear, they're going back to a national final. Eurosong kicks off on January the 9th. There are 5 shows before a final on January the 14th. If you ask me, this is a little bit on the ridiculous side, because there are 2 songs for 7 acts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, among the 7 acts is Tom Dice, who is part of the Starlings, and Tom Dice represented Belgium in 2010 in Oslo and got their best result for years at the time. We've also got the likes of Gala Drago, 2 fairly decent ballads there, but maybe nothing that's really bowling me over with excitement. You've also got Shireen, Hunter Falls, etc. You've seen all of the names because yesterday snippets of the songs were released, and you've probably seen my reaction video where I listened to those snippets in full for the first time, and my God, I was incredibly disappointed. I still am immensely let down by the quality on offer. My God, it's not looking great. But with a little bit of a revamp, decent staging, decent live vocals, you never know. Something tells me it's not going to be Antwerp 2024 though. As for Croatia, Dora is on February the 11th, and I should say February the 11th is a mammoth day for Eurovision 2023. A lot of countries are having national finals on that day. We know the artists and the names of the songs and songwriters competing in Dora 2023. There are 18 acts selected from the 196 that were submitted to the broadcaster during the submission period. Damir Ketsho, who would have represented his country 2 years ago, is back with Angels and Demons. It's worth keeping an eye on Eni Jurisic, whose song is known as Kreni Dalje. You've also got Merjan Drakovic, that could be a favourite with Bye Bye Blonde. You've also got a band called Top of the Pops. However, it's worth keeping an eye on Let 3. They're a rock band who've been going for years in Croatia. They are known for their somewhat vulgar lyrics and nude performances. So something tells me that a lot of Croatians, I don't know, because they're a big established band, maybe a lot of votes will pour in for them. I'm not so sure I like the sound of a performance where people are just getting their kit off for the hell of it. Certainly they're not going to be able to do that at Eurovision, but we wait and see. Anyway, well, Croatia needs something because they haven't been in the final for years now. Cyprus will be represented by Andrew Lambrou, who's 24 from Sydney. He was on the 7th season of Australia's X Factor, and he did try to represent Australia earlier this year, finishing in 7th place with a song that I forgot as soon as I heard it. His song will be released next month. I've got to say, I'm not massively convinced that this is a great choice for Cyprus, especially given some of the rumoured names. But yes, Andrew Lambrou will represent Cyprus, and when that song comes out, I'll be giving it a listen. Will it be good? Will it be pants? We wait and see. As for the Czech Republic, we've heard nothing. I don't really know what's happening with them at all. Usually, their national final takes place this time of year, but nothing at all so far from them. So who knows? Denmark's DMGP, February the 11th. Estonia's Eesti Laul, February the 11th. The songs are out. We also know the semi-final split. 12th of January and 14th of January for those two semi-finals. And then the final is on February the 11th. My personal favourites you can see on the Instagram page I co-run with my good friend Pete, rajc.esc. I really like Ollie, Sissy and Mel's. That's my top three at the moment in no particular order. I think Annette and Freddie are dark horses. Bedwetters are a really big band in Estonia, it seems. They were big years ago. I think this is a bit of a comeback for them. They've actually won an MTV European Music Award as Best New Act, I think. Something like that, which is quite incredible. You've also got Neon Letters and Maiko, but I'm not sure their song is going to do the business. Elisa is back. Whiskey Won't Forget by Carlos Ucureda. That's a bit of a dark horse. It's a lovely little track. Yeah, Robin Jökental, the 2010 representative, is also trying to represent his country again with Kurbuse Mattused. But anyway, I would say, well, it's hard to say who is going to win at this point in time. Ollie is definitely a contender. Bedwetters might do very well. Elisa again. Mel's. Sissy. I think Sissy will do very well with the juries, but might be let down by the public. And of course, Sissy is the daughter of former Estonian winner Dave Benton. Let's move on. Finland. Now, pictures have been released from the lyric videos, which I need to look at again. There are rumours that Erika Wickman, who had Cicciolina a few years ago, there are rumours that she's coming back. February the 25th for Finland. Quality everywhere you look. Less is more in UMK. Really looking forward to that. And if it's like how it's been over the past few years, we will be drip-fed those songs next month. As for Georgia, I believe it's the winner of Georgian... No, it's not Georgian Idol. I nearly said that. It's The Voice Georgia. The winner of that show will represent Georgia next year. And my God, do they need to qualify next May. Greece, we don't know anything. It's an internal choice, I believe. And there's been a couple of rumoured names, but nothing concrete as of yet. Iceland's Söngvakeppnin is back on March the 4th. Nothing's been revealed about that so far. Katla, who finished last in the final earlier this year, I do know has been back in the studio. I mean, look into that if you want. Make of that what you will. I'm excited because who knows, maybe she will be back next year. That would be great. Maybe I'm just looking into things a bit too much there. Anyway, Ireland are having a national final, February the 3rd. Will we have a song in the Irish language? Of course we won't. They haven't got the balls to do that. Leave it for Junior Eurovision. But of course, Sophie Lennon did a terrific job at Junior Eurovision last week. And I'd love an Irish language track. It has happened once before, but I'd love an Irish language track in the adult competition for Ireland next year. But something tells me that ain't going to happen. As for Israel, we've known for ages Noah Kirel is going to do it, and she seems very positive about it. I think they've got a pretty sizable budget for this. She's a huge star, very much in the mould of Dua Lipa. She's won loads of awards, and already Israel, you've got to be saying they're on course to do very well. Latvia, a country that need to sort themselves out because they haven't qualified for years. Their national final, Supernova, I believe that's what they're going with again, February for that. Lithuania's national final is also in February. Do we know anything else about that? No. 2 heats, 2 semi-finals and a final. There we go. That will probably start when Belgium pick their entry on January the 14th. As for Malta, 11th of February, would you believe it? And we know the names of the singers, we know the names of the songs, we know many of the songwriters. Christina Magrin, who represented her country in Junior Eurovision years ago, she has written Bradley DeBono's track. Charlie Mason, who's written loads of Eurovision tracks, he's co-written Dario Bezzina's song. Jonas Gladnikov, he's been involved tons of times, he's co-written Dominic and Anna's track. Eliana Gomez Blanco finished last at Junior Eurovision a few years ago. She's back as a singer. Fabrizio Faniello, twice the Maltese representative. He's back. Michael James Down with Jonas Gladnikov and Primoz Poglayen. They're involved in national finals everywhere you look every year. They've written Jake's track and Lindsay's track and Nathan's track. Jonas Gladnikov's involved there. Stefan Galea is involved. He was in the 2016 selection. Richard Mikolev, known as Richard Edwards as well. He was part of Firelight in 2014 for Malta. He has co-written one of the songs too. What a massive ramble that is. But you've got Jessica Muscat back. You have got Aidan back with a song called Regina, possibly in the Maltese language. Fantastic. Maxine Patch is back. Absolutely wonderful. Klinsmann, if that is the same Klinsmann, he's back. So Malta, yes, very interesting indeed. Francesca Shibaras, also at Junior Eurovision years ago. She's involved once more. So, some interesting names, but you just know there's going to be an absolute ton of blandness on display, unfortunately. Quarterfinals start on January the 13th. Moldova, we know nothing. They do whatever the hell they like. The Netherlands, we've known for a while that Mia Nicolai and Dion Cooper will represent the Dutch. I'm expecting something mid-tempo, but hopefully top-quality stuff. Norway's MGP starts on February the 4th. I believe the artists and songs have been selected. We will be getting them fairly soon, possibly before the year is out. I don't know. The final is once again at Trondheim. Fantastic. There we go. Rumours are Kino are coming back. Poland, 26th of February for their national final. No rumoured names as of yet. There's going to be a jury vote as well, playing a part. Just ask Margaret, for God's sake. Portugal, Festival de Canção, 11th of March. We know the songwriters. You've got April Ivy, who is a 23-year-old singer from Lisbon. Interesting. Claudia Pascual, hello. Last in 2018 on home soil, but she's absolutely fantastic. And if she's the songwriter, is she the one, rather, going to be singing her own song? Wouldn't it be great if it was the other way around and Isaura was singing a song written by Claudia Pascual? That would be fantastic. We've also got a band called You Can't Win Charlie Brown. So there you go. We'll be finding out more from Portugal very soon. Romania, the songs are out this weekend, and the national final is on February the 11th. San Marino, 25th of February. Now, I believe their selection's sort of already started. I really can't keep up with San Marino. I tried earlier this year, and it was a big fat fail. But anyway, February the 25th. Serbia, I think they're having a national final again. Hopefully with not as many songs taking part. I don't know. Slovenia, they are not having a national final. They've gone all in with Joker Out, a band who've been going since 2016. They're from Ljubljana, all-male group, 2 albums so far. I've listened to some of their stuff, and it's got a touch of the Arctic Monkeys to it. Very 2000s indie rock stuff. Not bad, my sort of thing. Anyway, February the 4th for that song, and it is in the Slovenian language. As for Sweden, Melfest, March the 11th for the final. They're always pretty much the last country to have a national final. We know the names of the songs, the songwriters, and the artists. We've got Eva and Juva, Jon Henrik Fjallgren, Tuna Sekelius, Victor Krona, Lulu from the Mamas, Teots, Panietos, Victoria. We've got Laurel Barker actually singing this time. Marcus and Martinus, 2 huge stars from Norway. Nordman are back after a long way away. Paul Ray is back. Axel Schillström is back. And Mariette with Loreen in the same heat too. If you had to put money on now, Loreen is probably winning this. But let's not forget last time she didn't even make the final. As for Switzerland, internal choice, I'm sure. As for the automatic finalists, France, I think, are having a national final, but we don't know anything yet. Germany are having a national final in March, and my God, there's a lot of pressure on them to do well. If I was a German Eurovision fan, I would be going absolutely ballistic at the broadcaster and the delegation. I would be demanding quality everywhere you look. As for Italy, the final of Sanremo's on February the 11th. We know the names of the artists involved. Anna Oxa, huge name, is back. Colapesce and Di Martino, Elodie, Georgia, former winner. Levante is back. Modda, huge band from Milan. Mr. Rain is involved. 2013 representative Marco Mengoni. Ultimo is back. Tananai is involved. Some big names. If you want to see the names Madame is involved. I forgot about her. If you want to see the names I'm particularly interested in, the Instagram page, link in the description. Tonight, I believe, as I'm recording this video you're watching now, is San Remo Giovanni. So some of the acts from that will be in the actual San Remo Music Festival next year. You've got Gian Maria, Giuseppe Delizia, Manini, Mida, Oli, Sethu, Shari, Will, Colazio, Fiat 131, Noor, and Romeo and Drill. They're the names, apparently, that are involved. I've not really been keeping up with it. It says on December the 16th, yes, the 12 finalists will perform their songs, so you may get the result by the time Eurovision comes around next May. As for Spain, Benidorm Fest, a lot riding on this. Can Spain do the business? 2 contests in a row. February the 4th is when the final will be. We know the names of the singers, we know the names of the songs, and the songs are being released on December the 19th, although I have a feeling that's changed to December the 18th. It might be December the 18th. Anyway, Alfred Garcia, one half of the 2018 duo in Lisbon, he's back. Agone, who was on Operación Triunfo, he's involved. Famous is back. Fusa Nocta involved. They were on the Spanish X Factor. Sharon, who was on Drag Race España Season 2 and is already getting a huge amount of buzz, they're involved. You've also got Twin Melody, that's 2 girls. You've got Megara, who are a bit of a rock band. That's my sort of thing. Blanca Paloma is back as well. We'll be getting those songs very soon, and I'm sure a lot of people will be having strong opinions on them. Ukraine's national final is tomorrow in a metro station in Kyiv, hosted by Timur, Katerina Pavlenko from GoA, and Zlata Ognievich, the 2013 representative. There are 10 songs. You've got Jerry Heil with When God Shut the Door, Krutz with Koliskova, Tvorchi with Heart of Steel, Demchuk with Alive, Angelina with Stronger. Some okay tracks, absolutely, but on the whole, maybe not as strong as we usually get from Ukraine. But you might argue, and you certainly might argue, that it doesn't really matter what Ukraine send, they'll still do well, because this is a country that just know how to do Eurovision. Will there be more sympathy votes next year? We wait and see. You could say there were no sympathy votes earlier this year. But the national final is tomorrow. My personal favourite is When God Shut the Door. We wait and see if that wins. As for the UK, we know nothing. However, I've put the newspaper clipping away. I'm going to have to take a look here, so bear with me. I have seen one rumoured name, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me here. This is taking an absolute eternity. Oh, here we are. It's a young woman who's been on Strictly Come Dancing here in the UK. Her name is... What is her name? Molly Rainford. There you go. Keep an eye on her. She's in the final of Strictly Come Dancing. She's 22, from London. She was on Britain's Got Talent a decade ago. She's presented some children's television. She's done a fair bit of music as well. I think she's presented children's television. She's acted in various things as well. She's a rumoured name, apparently. And she's already in the final of a major BBC television show. So Eurovision is maybe the next step. Who knows? Molly Rainford, keep an eye on her. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Everything that we pretty much know so far about Eurovision 2023. I'm going to wrap this up now, but let me know your thoughts on anything I've discussed today, and I'll be back soon with a brief reaction to the Spanish contenders and the Romanian contenders. Nobody's talking about Romania, but who knows, maybe they've got something really special up their sleeves. Until then, take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.